What's going on YouTube? This is SB3 and I'm back with another MXGP video. So I got the memo, I think it was earlier today or early this morning or last night or at some point, but MXGP finally released another update. So as you can see right here, I have the patch update available, and this is kind of what they've put in there. So riders, a new update is available with new tracks, new track editor terrain types, and some improvements on the track editor, bike physics, and more. So added the Lommel track in quick race, on and offline, time attack, official championship, and career mode. And then I don't know how to pronounce that one. Xanadu? I don't know. But it's also in the same. It's available pretty much everywhere. Add woods map to track editor. Add the plane map to track editor. Minor fixes on the track editor. Minor fixes on bike physics. Minor fixes. So I did want to pull this up to see. Yes, that's fine. Yes, that's fine. Okay, accept. Okay, so I'm hoping this gives me some. Okay, so this is the most recent, the MXGP 2020 new patch released. So it just gives literally the exact same stuff. I was hoping in the patch release that they were going to give me some breakdown on what exactly they fixed on the bike physics and what exactly they fixed in the minor fixes. I don't know. Well, let's see what it does, and let's see how it works. This is the first time I've launched the game since they've done this update, so hopefully they've gotten some stuff squared away. I'm just gonna go straight into a time attack or something. I guess I could play one of the new tracks. I've had a lot of people asking about Lommel, so I'll go ahead and do Lommel just because. I'm gonna not do time attack. Here we go. No, I hate Rainy. I hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. But I guess I have to play Rainy because that was one of my biggest. Where's it at? One of my biggest issues. How do you say that? Into Xanadu? Into Xanadu? That sounds right. That sounds like it, because it's. Okay, so I'll go through, I'll do a couple laps on both tracks. Um, and just get a feel of what I'm feeling on the track, what the physics are feeling like. I'm going to do standard physics. I still haven't gotten quite used to the advanced physics. I don't really like the advanced physics on MXGP. Advanced physics is all I use on the Supercross games, but for whatever reason, I just can't get used to it on the MXGP games. I'm glad that MXGP, I'm sorry. I'm very happy that Milestone has come out with some type of an update. It will remain to be seen whether or not it's a good update or just I don't know, because the first update that they did, it wasn't very good. So they did I think it released on the 28th or something like that. Um, that's still a thing. Okay. Um, so I will say, as I've played this game more, um, it's I don't know if I've just gotten used to it. Uh, um, but I was very, very critical of this game initially, and I think a lot of people were. I've never played this, so maybe I need the maybe I need to have the track map up. But I was very, very openly critical about this game, and I've been very openly critical to Milestone about this game because this feels like half a game. And I say that not a half a game in the sense of content, but polish. It seems like going from MXGP 19 to MXGP 20, they transferred over about half the gear. The physics seemed to take a step back, and like it just seemed like a half-baked game. Like there was so much stuff that was missing compared to the other game that it didn't make a lot of sense to me. I didn't understand why they released this game initially because it got terrible reviews. It got ripped apart because you'd play the game and there's these issues with everything. I mean, the numbers were locked into place. There's so much gear missing. I mean, there was a ton of things missing that could have literally just been copied over. Like they took the effort to go in and remove things from the game that were in the previous game. And I don't understand. I don't understand it because it's stuff that shouldn't have been taken out. Because to me, it just doesn't make sense that they would have Fox helmets, Fox gear, and I think Fox helmet, or not helmets, Fox helmets, Fox gear, and Fox goggles, but no Fox boots, no Garnier boots. So it's just like basic stuff. This game just had me very, very confused early on because I didn't understand where the disconnect was in this game because it, with the physics. Oh, I did it again. Dang it. With the physics the way they are, I will say since I've played it more, I played through some of the career and things like that. I don't necessarily like the physics, but I'm used to them. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but initially it was just there was so much like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it because the game gave me such an off-putting feel initially that I didn't want to play it, but I wanted to play an outdoor motocross game, and this is it. This is what you get. This is what you've got to choose from whenever you play these games, and it sucks because you initially have this the game that came out and it looks gorgeous. It's officially licensed. It's something separate from MX versus ATV, which was all fake everything, minus like obviously the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross track. So I mean, to me, the MXGP games initially were a breath of fresh air because it was official. You had the official riders, the official tracks, the official gear, the official da 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 da, and it was so different, and it became a yearly game, which I think was its first mistake because yearly games, especially the way the contract, and I learned that they're on a yearly contract with Feld, I would imagine, because they handle both Supercross and Motocross, or the MXGP. So I would imagine that it's a yearly contract through Feld or some overarching body that allows you to have access to both Supercross and the MXGP series. But um, having a yearly contract really, really limits what a company can do because you figure they're making two games a year. That's 6 months between, that they have to, I mean, essentially that's giving you 6 months to work on a game, minus the other projects that they've got going on. Dang it! Which is like the Ride series, which has been relatively popular. I have Ride 3. I've never played it, but I bought it, and I don't know what other games Milestone's involved in, but you figure that they're not getting a whole lot of time to actually go in and develop this game in a sense that I would rather see a game come out every 2, 3 years and just update the freaking game. Update it. Give it to, let's say, I'd even be happy with like the Supercross, the first official Supercross game coming out, and then them just updating it every season, tweaking the physics, doing little things with it, because that's basically all we're getting with these games anymore. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to have these games. I've bought every single MXGP game, every single Supercross game. I buy the MX versus ATV All Out games because I love having moto games in the industry. But as fans, we've got to set some kind of standards up where, this game it's okay now. It's good. Like I like the game for what it is. It's something I'm probably going to play until Supercross 4 comes out, and then I'm not going to touch it until MXGP 21 comes out, or Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship 1, whatever they're going to do. But overall, this game left a very, very sour taste in my mouth initially because it was clear that this is the second thought to the Supercross game. So the one thing that really kind of peeved me initially about this game is that they announced it, and then you didn't hear anything until release day. I didn't see any gameplay videos. I didn't see really, really anything at all. All I saw was that one initial video plus a couple of like 15-second videos on their Facebook and stuff like that would like show the track editor, and it was really just a bunch of recycled stuff that they used from the main trailer. But and then you didn't hear anything until the game released, and it launched terribly, terribly. Like I installed it and I had so many issues right off the bat. Like I was still showing like an alpha build or something like that. I had green text up in the top part of my screen, which is generally only seen whenever a game is released in a non um, like a beta or an early access stage. And I don't know if that's actually true or not, but that's the only one I've ever that's the only way I've ever seen it. It was like I didn't get the full copy of the game. Um, and you know, honestly, they came out pretty quick and they're like, hey, we know we've got these issues, and then they did a patch. And then radio silence. Today, recording this video, this came out on January 25th. A full month after the game came out, it took us to get a secondary patch. And to me, they've added 2 tracks, that's fine. Okay, I get it with the state of the world. I get it. I get that the pandemic and this being an Italian-based company forced them to shut down, and they're behind. To me, this is something that I don't know if Feld is really saying, hey, you need to get this game out, because that very well could have been it. This could have been something Milestone didn't want to release, but contractually they have to. I don't know where they're at on that side of things, but to me, this game shouldn't have been released on December 16th. It got pushed back, I think, a week. I think it was originally supposed to come out on the 10th, and they pushed it back about a week just to polish it. And to me, it shouldn't have gotten released in the state that it was in. Like, the game coming out the way it is right now, like, with these tracks, I think they're still 2 or 3 tracks short. I think they should have 17 now, and maybe it's 19. I don't remember. But to me, it's something they shouldn't have released it if they couldn't have had the full game in there right off the bat. Because if you guys remember back when the game first released, it launched without the track editor. Without it. And then granted, I mean, they brought it in pretty quick, so I mean, I get with the state of the world that they couldn't, you know, they had to kind of stagger how they release things. But we didn't know about this until after the game launched. Me specifically, I don't really care about the track editor, but I noticed that it wasn't there. And a lot of people wanted the track editor. So it's one of those things where it's like, why didn't you say that? You know, myself, the way I would have handled the situation if I were a gamer and let's say I was selling this to the company, or I was selling the game to the masses. Hey, just as an update, guys, we're gonna release this game on December 16th. There's gonna be things missing because of COVID and everything, and our yearly contract with Feld, MXGP, whoever's the overarching body behind that. We have to stagger how we release things a little bit. You can still offer the game at full price, but you're showing a little bit of transparency and openness with the community, so that way people aren't opening the game for the first time and being like, where the hell is the track editor? There was 20 tracks on the MXGP series, or set 19, or whatever it was supposed to be, and there's only 15. So that really left a bad taste in my mouth with what Milestone did. And this is a lot of negative talk because we've got to hold some kind of standard to this. I mean, I really hope Supercross comes in and blows us away, because they've been hyping the hell out of that game. They've been showing a lot more gameplay. They opened it up to the masses. Not the masses, but they actually gave away codes to show alpha gameplay. And where was MXGP's? I told them before the game. I got on the Supercross Discord. And it was down with me because I didn't join the MXGP Discord until after the game released. But I reached out to Milestone. I said, hey, I'm a small YouTube channel and I would like to have early access to the game to give my thoughts and impressions on it, because I've played these games for as long as they've come out. I'm an avid fan of the sport, and I think I would give good feedback to the game, even if I can't share it with the community. And they're like, well, you won't get it yet. I said, okay. And I mean, honestly, the way I've been talking about MXGP, I doubt that I'll get it. But to me, it's one of those things that you got to be transparent with your community about this game. If there's issues, trust me, motocross fans are loyal to a fault. We piss and moan about everything, but we're loyal to a fault. And I will buy every single MXGP game that comes out as long as they're making improvements and as long as they are open with me. I mean, if they come up and they're like, "Hey, because of COVID, we're having to stagger this stuff because it's just not ready yet. We're still going to charge you full price for the game of the $49.99 or $59.99 or however much you paid for it. Steam was $50, but I think Xbox and PlayStation, I think they're $59.99, but I don't know. Um, but to me, it's like I'm still gonna buy the game as long as you guys are open and honest with me and say, hey, this is coming. Here's the timetable we're at right now. This is what we're looking at. And as long as there's that open transparency, I'm still gonna buy the game because hey, at least they're telling me that something's not finished, but it's coming. Versus logging into the game, seeing that it's not there when it was advertised, and not being there, and then having to get into their private Discord channel and be like, oh well, it's not coming yet. Um, but enough talk about Milestone and the antics that happened with this year. And I want to be open and honest with it. And after playing this game, and I mean the way the game feels right now, it feels like an MXGP game. I haven't really noticed anything different. It does feel a little bit more fluid than what it did previously. Like I feel a little bit more sense of a flow than I did in before the update. And I played this game last night, not knowing that there was going to be an update today, but it feels like I can carry flow a little bit more. Granted, I'm playing a track that I have never previously played, so that might be part of it. But let's go try the other track, which I've never ridden before. So, um, and I guess a lot of this is just coming from frustration with Milestone about this because all that comes back to me is that they weren't dishonest. They just withheld information that probably shouldn't have been withheld. If they would have told people like, "Hey, this is the way that's going to work because of the state of the world," I think a lot of people would have understood, or at least to a sense would have been like, "Okay, well, I'll just wait to buy it until it's ready." Versus, I'm sure they had to deal with a lot of refunds because technically it was false advertising. If we're getting into the nitty gritty of it, it was false advertising because they said that there was going to be something there at launch and it wasn't there. And I don't know if there was legal implications there and why they got it released so quickly, but a lot of it just comes for me, and it's like I know I'm complaining, I know I'm talking a lot of crap about this game, and realistically, I can never do anything like this. I could never attempt to do anything like this, but as a fan of the sport, as a fan of these games, I just wish that there was a little bit more transparency from the company on that side. So this is into Xanadu. Into Xanadu. Again, this is a track I've never raced before, but okay, I got confused. Um, but with this patch update, I'm assuming they fixed some of these issues, and I'm going to go into another track that I've raced previously to see if there's actually any difference, because racing these new tracks, I have no basis to go off of in terms of what it felt like before. But I will say that the game, it feels a little bit more fluid than what it did prior to the update. So again, I played this game last night, and it feels a little bit better. Doesn't feel a lot better, but it feels a little bit better. I noticed that I'm not floating like, I don't know. Like the game had a very, not a floaty, but it was very easy to lose your sense of flow into a corner without really any reason why. Like I would go into some corners and I would go into a corner and the AI would go into the corner the same exact way and it'd be fine. And then I would go into that corner the exact same way and it would kill all my momentum, and it was like the bike was very, very heavy coming into a specific corner. And it was usually these little inside berms. I've noticed that there's still an issue with the bike kind of hitting, I don't want to call it a wall, but like doing that where I don't know how to describe it, but to me it's like the front end is just like doing like a turning on a dime, and that's not a good thing. I want to be very, very transparent. Damn it, I want to be very open about that. That's not a good thing. I don't like that because then it kills all my momentum going into the corner, and I can't. I mean, I can't rail the berms whenever I'm doing that. What do you mean? I'm outside of the track limits. Get out of here. All right. So, I'm gonna do a couple of laps. I'm not gonna do as many laps as I did on Lommel. I just want to give you guys a sense of the track, and then go into. I didn't see anything on the cosmetic side that got added in, so I'm gonna assume they didn't add any gear. But if I see anything on there, I'll do another video that shows the gear options if there's anything added in. But again, I didn't see anything in the patch notes that said that it was there. So, oh god, I forgot where to go. Okay. Um, I mean, this game, I really hope that this isn't how Supercross 4 is going to launch. I really hope that since they're hyping it up more and they've had more content available for that, they're going to actually have this game ready to go March 11th. If they don't, I hope they have the transparency and the integrity within the company to be able to tell people, hey, we need to fix things and we need to push this back, or we're going to charge full price for this game because we need to get it out per our contract, but we're working on XYZ to get out, and it's going to be coming out whenever it's supposed to come out. Again, as a fan of this game and a fan of the not the company necessarily, but I'm grateful for Milestone for what they're doing. And to me, this isn't coming as hating on the game. It's coming to me in a sense of like, you guys need to improve on this stuff if you're going to continue growing the brand that you've made with the company. You know, if you keep taking not shortcuts, but if you keep going through and making these mistakes, people aren't going to buy these games anymore, or you're going to kill the fan base that you have, and people aren't going to want to buy the games anymore because you're releasing games when they're not completely done, or you're not being open and transparent about things that are happening. And that's honestly what a lot of this comes down to. I'm all for these Milestone games. I am all for what happened with the pandemic and them being an Italian-based company and their stuff getting shut down, and maybe not being able to produce a game that's 100% an improvement based off of what the previous game was. But you got to be transparent about that stuff. Otherwise, it's not going to go over well with the fans, and you're going to get reamed in your reviews because you're releasing a game that's not finished. Okay. I'm sorry. That's just my biggest pain point with this game. It's not necessarily the way the game plays. It's not the way the game was released. It was the way the company handled the situation and not withheld information necessarily, but it was just the way the situation was handled. And I'm done talking. I'm done talking about the ethics of a company. But this track, I didn't watch the MXGP series. I think the way MXGP 2020 the game was supposed to go is they said this was supposed to be based off of the way the series was supposed to go, and not the way that it actually played out, because they had double headers and I think triple headers too. So it ended up being, I think, the way the series was originally supposed to be versus Supercross is going to be how the series actually played out. So that'll be interesting to see, just to see how the game plays out. I really hope they take some steps in the right direction with Supercross 4, and I hope that they right the ship, because to a lot of people in the comments I've read and the things I've read in the Discord, this game burned a lot of people. And you don't get too many chances at that with a community, because if the loyal fan base quits buying the game, it's going to put the company out of business, because there's not enough generated income for the from the non-fan base, like the general fan that's going to buy this game, because they're going to see a racing game and they'll be, oh, okay, cool. Whereas I'm imagining a lot of this is coming from the motocross fan that watches MXGP or watches Supercross, and then they come to buy these games to support the industry, which is not necessarily supporting the industry, but they want to play a game that's within the industry. You know what I mean? I said that like you're going to respond to me right here, but but it's meant to be, you want to play. I'm a Supercross fan. I'm a motocross fan. I would rather have a Lucas Oil Pro Motocross game, but playing the MXGP games has given me exposure to another form of motocross that I didn't know anything about. I didn't know anything about MXGP besides the Motocross the Nations, and I didn't care about it. But now that I've played these MXGP games for a while since they've come out, my curiosity has come out, and it's made me want to watch. Like I paid for the MXGP series um, for the first time this last year. Where in years past, I would only buy the Des Nations pass or whatever it was, or I would just watch it on YouTube a couple days later. So I mean, I get where they're like I appreciate it because it's helped get me to a point where I appreciate what they're doing, and it's exposed me to a new form of motocross that I wouldn't have watched otherwise. So personally, I hope that they transition to Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. I think they'll generate more income that way because, at least on the American side, I don't know how many people buy the MXGP game versus just buying Supercross. I buy both because I like having that Supercross feel, and then whenever Lucas Oil Pro Motocross comes around, I like playing the MXGP games. It's just that state of mind it puts me in. I like playing Supercross during Supercross season, and I like playing motocross or this MXGP game during motocross season. Um, so I mean, I hope eventually they get to that point, but they've got to get these issues sorted out. And I'm not going to go deep into it again because I seem to go on a tangent every time I do. But yeah, back to the game and the overall gameplay. I've ran. Oh, I forgot. Okay, I'm gonna go run a track that I've played, and I'm gonna see. I'm gonna do it in the dry, and then I'm gonna do it in when it's raining, just to see if there's any difference in how the game runs whenever it's. Uh, We'll do Matterley Basin. I hate the track. No, I don't want to do that track. Let's see. Let's do Loquet. That's not what I wanted. What did I do? Oh, I'm dumb. I don't have any tracks. Easy credits. Ooh, Glen Helen. Let's do Glen Helen. Let's see. Let's see how the track editor works. Apple Orchard. Yeah, I mean. So this is the first time I played a downloaded track. So let's see how it goes. I don't know what to expect, but okay. So this is supposed to be Glen Helen. Okay, so they do have the elevation changes, which is nice. And then that backdrop I don't know why there's a house out. Oh God. Okay. I don't know why there's a house out there, but I get that they're trying to make these games scenic. But to me, it's like I would rather just have an open field, kind of like this, where you're able. Where am I going? One thing I would like to see this game add in is the ability to add tough blocks and hay bales and all that other stuff. I think that would help add immersion, not immersion into the game, but I mean, on these custom made tracks, it's at least your first going across the road. At least your first couple of times, it does make it a little hard to figure out where you're going. So I mean, a room for improvement for me would not anything with the track creator, um, but for Milestone would be to add the ability to add like tough blocks or custom items like you can do in like Reflex with the custom made tracks that they make there. Because Reflex tracks, you play Glen Helen on the custom track on Reflex, it looks just like the event. So I would like to see something like that come to MXGP. But I am happy that they're adding elevation changes because I played some of the tracks on the track editor on MXGP 19 and it was terrible. Not terrible, but it was very, very limited. You couldn't get something like Glen Helen. You couldn't do Redbud. You couldn't do any of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross tracks minus some of the newer ones. Like what was it, Charlotte Raceway, blah, 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 WWE Ranch I think is what it was, but because you don't have the elevation change, so it's impossible to get these jumps in there without it looking ridiculous. But this is, I like the elevation change. I'm not gonna do very many laps on this one. I just wanted to go through and try it. Um, as a frame of mind, I don't remember Glen Helen because they didn't race it, so I'd have to do it side by side to really compare it to the track. But it looks good. I mean, I like the elevation change in the track editor. So we're gonna go through. We're going to do. Let's just do Matterley Basin. I don't like it, but let's do it. Let's just do it while it's loading. And I'll do a couple laps on Matterley Basin, and then we'll go through and do it in the rain, and then I'll compare and really give my final thoughts. And then I'll try to get this video wrapped up so you guys aren't watching it for like an hour. But so MXGP, I've always liked Matterley Basin up until the last game, and in this game I don't like it either. I don't know why, but I always liked Matterley Basin, and then starting with MXGP 19, I don't know. I can't find a flow on it. Okay. So this was always one of my big issues. Okay. That would always like that corner specifically would kill a lot of my momentum no matter how I entered the corner. So that's good that it feels a little bit better. Let's see. Brake. It still has that brake, and it like turns it on a dime. That needs to get sorted out, but it didn't say anything about major fixes, and to me that's a bigger issue than the way the bike does something or the way something happened. Ooh. Okay. So on the surface, there's not. I mean, from playing this game last night to playing it today, there's not a huge amount of difference. The sense of flow is a little bit more apparent, but like I don't feel like I'm ever gonna minus that turning on a dime. It's mostly just like that was a little bit of loss in momentum, but that's because I overjumped it. That quick turn, I don't know. I don't know if that's me, but it feels better. I can't really pinpoint why, but it feels a little bit better. It doesn't feel like amazing. It doesn't feel drastically different than if I was playing after that initial patch went out, but it feels a little bit better. A little bit. I don't feel like I'm losing all my momentum every time I do something, which is something I felt like was a big issue. Like I would go into a corner and it just, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I didn't feel the sense of flow at all. And here I do. Whips aren't anything different. They're still the whips are still canned. I don't know what they changed. I wish they were more in depth so that way I knew what to look for. But the bike physics, I'm imagining they just made it a little bit more stable because it doesn't seem like I'm getting kicked out of a rhythm quite as easily as I would on a before the patch. But I don't know for sure. I'm gonna finish this lap and then I'll switch it to the rain to see if they made any adjustments to the on screen with the rain. And then I'll do a couple laps there. Do they have tear offs yet? I don't know if they added that. I don't think they have. No. Ugh. No, there's no tough or tear offs yet. I don't know if they'll get added into the game, but as of right now, there's not anything. And then I don't want to do a race because I'm embarrassed, but I've seen other videos where people are like, the AI are still as bad as they've always been, and I'm like, oh shoot, am I just getting worse at these games? So normally, like MXGP 19, I could go to the realistic difficulty and I could smoke them the first race. This one, I have troubles keeping up with them sometimes on hard. I know, I'm the worst, but I don't know. I don't know if they're actually harder or if I'm just having issues getting a flow with this game. Because this is the first milestone game that they've released that I've had issues keeping up with the AI in any race. Like, and it's shocking. Like it's a good thing, but I don't know if it's me or if it's just the way the game is, or maybe it's the bike physics that I can't get used to. I don't really know, but um, the AI, at least to me, are harder, and that's a welcome change because to me, it's like I don't like being able to come out on the AI and run a stock bike and beat them, and have a 30-second lead by the end of the 5-minute race. To me, that killed a lot of the realism that was there, and it bothered me. I mean, because you play the game for a week and you get bored because you played through all the tracks, and then you have to start doing the head start challenges, which by the end of MXGP 19's lifespan, I had them doing like a 30-second head start, and then I couldn't do any like creative lines until I did one full lap. And and you had to get creative to make the game any sort of challenging, and I'm still not good enough to play to play online. So I was running out of options. But we'll go in here really quick and we'll do rainy. Oh, that's silly. There's no overcast. Maybe I'll do. I don't know. I'll do the advanced physics in another video. I don't know what it is with MXGP and the advanced physics, but I don't get them. I don't get along with them at all. But we'll go through. We'll run this on the settings. Okay, so the water's still there. Let's see if it's still as big of an issue. So I ran what, a 209 last lap or during the rain. So let's see how slow it is. I'm only going to do 2 laps just to compare the two, but I don't know. I still don't like the way the physics work in the rain in this game. Like in MXGP 19, it was a little bit of not a problem, but it was harder to do it. This just, I don't know. I don't like the way it feels. Because obviously you have to change up the way you ride in the rain, but this is just like, it's like impossible to do it. Almost. It just makes it difficult, and I'll do probably like a little, see, like I don't know. I don't like riding this in this game, and I don't like riding specifically in MXGP 2020. I don't like racing in the rain. And to me, and I don't know if I was like an isolated case, but I did a championship. I've done the career mode, and for 75% of the races, it was raining. Not the weekend races, but like the at some point I did the full qualifiers. I did medium race length, so I had 15-minute races, and for a 75% in the championship, or I'm sorry, not the championship, in the career mode, every of all the at 17 races or 17 weekends, so what is that, 34 races, 75% of those races had rain. And I don't mean like cloudy wet track, I mean like this. And it sucked. Like I don't like I like it if it's like a mixture, but it was primarily raining in every single race. And then I did a championship separately, and it rained in 10 of the. I did a 12-round series, so 24 races, and it rained in 20 of them. It rained. So what is that? I can't math, but it rained out of the 24 motos that I did. Not in, I didn't do qualifying, but out of the 24 races, it rained for 20 of them. Some of them, I think a handful, like 3 or 4 of them, it didn't rain right off the bat, like it was cloudy, and the track was wet, and then it started pouring like a minute into the race. So I hope that's something they can at least adjust that or lower it. Dang, that's a lot slower. I crashed a lot though, so I'll do one more lap. Let's see if I can not be dumb. Okay. All right. So I'll try to be a little more quiet. I have the audio off. for this one just because I don't know why. I turned it off for something, and truthfully, I forgot to turn it back on. But um, and I guess before I get off, I'll go check the customization to see if they did anything there, but I don't think so. They didn't mention anything about customization, so I don't think any of that's coming. But okay, I just want to see if I can get something lower than being 10 seconds off, because I mean that's a sizable amount of difference, and I did crash, so I think if I can keep myself from crashing, that'll probably help me out a little bit. But overall, the rain physics in this game still feel the same. It still feels kind of clunky. The sense of flow is a lot harder to get into when you're riding in the rain, which I mean to an extent is realistic, but this just makes it, I don't know. Like that sense of flow is not there, and I mean to a certain extent it shouldn't be, but I will lose drive midway through a section. Like I'll be going through it straight away, and I'll just randomly the power will start to cut out. So, but I can still hit some of these lines that I couldn't hit before, or that I can hit during the normal race. So I don't know how the physics change whenever it's raining, but I don't like it. And again, if it's something that it's supposed to be a challenging aspect because it's supposed to be more challenging to race in the rain than it is during the sunshine when the track is, at least in game, is primed. So it feels okay. It doesn't feel any different than what it did before the update. So I don't know if damn. I don't know if the changes primarily came from to the dry surfaces, but I think if the issue is still there about the races, championships being the way that they weigh the percentages of doing the rain versus not rain, I think they need to figure that out. They need to address it if it hasn't been addressed already. Again, I'll go through, play a couple of the career mode races just to see. But that's really, I'll go into customization really quick just to check and see. I do like that you can add these career mode presets. It makes it feel a little bit nicer just because you can go in and kind of create something. So like I created one for every American team. So I had JGR Suzuki, the TLD Gas, which this is also from Pay 2021's mods. So he does mods for everything on PC only, but it's nice. It's good. It adds a completely different layer to the game that unfortunately would otherwise be very, very boring to a certain degree. And I say that with a certain level of I respect what Milestone does, but the game gets very bland after a couple of hours, a couple weeks of playing it, because if I can't ride for an official team or I can't choose my own custom gear, it just locks out a lot of opportunity that's in the game. So I'm glad to see that the community on PC is able to kind of pick up the slack to a certain extent. But I don't see anything in terms of gear, and I don't know if there's going to be. But let's go into data. We'll go into nickname. Did they get rid of? No, that was on the number. I'm sorry. Here we go. All right. So you still can't adjust. If you go to the maximum size number, you can't adjust it any more than what it's already at. So that was a little pet peeve of mine. Like I don't like it's off center, and that bothers me. But that's okay. I can live with it. That's not a huge deal. But like this one's gigantic. You can make it gigantic. Okay, cool. So there's not really a whole lot in the way of changes there. So all right, well, guys, that's all I've got for this video. If you guys have come over from watching the opening round of Supercross, for those of you that have stayed, thank you guys so much for your continued support. I really appreciate it. I really trying to find a way to make things work. I'm not having a whole heck of a lot of luck, unfortunately, but I'm trying to find a way to do it and not get myself in any kind of legal trouble. And so that's the hurdle I'm trying to get over at this point, trying to make sure that I can provide you guys the content, but I'm not going to get myself in a hole for doing it. So um, I haven't really been able to get any videos up. A lot of the stuff I've been trying to put up recently has been getting flagged for copyright infringement. So I don't know if I'm in YouTube jail. It's been over a week since the video got taken down, so I don't know. If this video goes up, then hopefully we can get something squared away. But if MXGP gets another update, be on the lookout for that, because I'll try to do a video update on it same day if I can. Otherwise, it'll be the next day or within the first few days of it being released. And then I'll go in depth about what's changed. I'll go over the patch notes, and then if I can find anything different, then I'll make sure to showcase it. Let me know down in the comments with these update or patch reviews. Let me know if you'd rather me go into it blind like I did today to see if I can feel any of the difference, or if you'd rather me go in and play around with it for a little bit, get a sense of the actual differences, and then kind of review it so that way I know what I'm looking for, or if you'd prefer me to go into it blind like I did and just kind of experiment with the game to see what I can feel is different. Other than that, I mean, let me know other content you guys want to see down in the with the channel. I'm gonna have to stray away from doing Supercross videos for a little bit, just until I get the target off my back, it seems. But let me know what other videos you want to see. Do you want to see more MXGP games? Do you want to see me do a career mode type of deal? Do you want to see more reviews like this, where I go in and do patch reviews and stuff like that? I'm an open book. This channel is really, it's for you guys. So if you guys want to see something specific, let me know. I mean, if I can find a way to get like race recaps where I'm not going to get yelled at by YouTube and get a copyright strike for doing a race review and showing some footage, then I'd be more than happy to do that. But give me some ideas on how to progress the channel forward, and let me know down in the comments, and we'll build this together. If you're watching this for the first time, thank you for dropping in. Make sure, if you like these videos, to like, subscribe, and share with friends so we can keep growing this great community. But until next time, guys, whether it be an update, a race recap, or whatever may come next, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.